Welcome to the chapter S&P 500 versus Nasdaq 100 versus penny stocks. What if I told you that not all stocks are created equal and trading the wrong kind could wipe out your entire account overnight? Most beginners assume all stocks work the same way. They don't. And today, I'm going to break down exactly what separates the giants from the landmines. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and check the course link below. Let's start with the S&P 500. This is a list of 500 of the largest, most established companies in the United States. Think Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. These are not fly-by-night operations. They've been around, they're profitable, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. On a normal day, these stocks move about 1 to 2%. That might sound boring, but when you're learning to trade, boring is actually your best friend. Now, things can change fast during earnings season or when major news drops. We're talking drops of 20%, sometimes even 30% in just a few days. So even the safe ones have teeth. The difference is they're not trying to bite you every single day. Now let's talk about the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq exchange is massive. We're talking somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 listed stocks, but most traders don't focus on all of them. Instead, they zero in on the Nasdaq 100, which is the top 100 non-financial companies on that exchange. Names like Tesla, Meta, and Nvidia. Here's something a lot of beginners don't realize. These indices are not permanent lists. Companies get added and companies get removed. If a stock falls below certain standards, market cap, financial health, share price, it gets cut. So in a way, the market is already doing some of the filtering for you. When you trade stocks from these indices, you're working with large, established companies that are very unlikely to just disappear overnight. That doesn't mean zero risk, but it's a completely different ballgame from what I'm about to describe. Now let's talk about the wild west of trading. Penny stocks. Penny stocks are small cap or micro cap companies. They're highly speculative, they're volatile, and honestly, trading them is closer to gambling than it is to investing. Here's a real-world example. Say a small pharmaceutical company announces that their drug trial was a success. Overnight, the stock could jump 500%, maybe even 1,000%. That sounds incredible, right? But flip that scenario. The trial fails. The stock loses 90% of its value. Or worse, the company gets delisted from the exchange entirely, meaning you can't even trade your way out. Your money is just gone. That's the reality of penny stocks. The upside is massive, but so is the downside. And for most traders, especially newer ones, that's not a risk worth taking. So let's bring it all together. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 give you access to large, established, filtered companies. They still move, they still carry risk, but they're not going to zero tomorrow. Penny stocks, on the other hand, are a completely different animal. High reward, brutal risk, and no safety net. As a trader, knowing where you're playing is just as important as knowing how to play. Start where the odds aren't completely stacked against you.